Erev Tov Rabotai, we are continuing with our Mishna Yomi Masechet Sotah. We are up to Perek Ted Mishnah Yud Bet. Today's Mishnah should be Le'ilu Nishmat Neria ben Svetlana Ranbai V'Eliyahu ben Burcha Israel of Chala ben Miriam Sason ben Raya and Yoshua ben Shifra Menuchatam beGan Eden Amen and Avdi ben Chaim L'Chaim v'Derefua Shenemav Daniel Shalom ben Rosa B'Torch Shah Chulei Israel. The Mishnah begins, Mishemetu Nivim Arishonim, when the early prophets who lived in the era of the first temple died. Now the term early prophets includes all the prophets except Chagai, Zechariah, Malachi, and their colleagues who lived at the beginning of the second temple era. But Urim v'Tumim, the power of the Urim v'Tumim ended. The Urim v'Tumim was a piece of parchment inscribed with the four-letter name of God, which we do not say, and placed into the fold of the Choshen, the breastplate worn by the high priest, the Kohen Gadol. Through the Urim v'Tumim, leaders of the Jewish people received answers from heaven to important questions that affected the nation. 12 precious stones were attached to the front of the Choshen, on which the names of the 12 tribes were engraved, one name on each stone. In response to a question, some of the engraved letters miraculously protruded, and with the help of Ruach HaKodesh, divine inspiration, the Kohen Gadol arranged the protruding letters into an answer to the question. Mishechav Bet HaMikdash, when the second temple was destroyed, Batel Shamir V'Nofet Sufim, the Shamir, a small worm that could split stone. Now the stones of the ephod, one of the Kohen Gadol's garments, and the Choshen had to be engraved with the names of the 12 tribes. However, the engraving could not be done with an iron tool because the Torah requires these stones to be in their entirety, as says in Shemot chapter 28 verse 20, and an iron tool would remove parts of the stones. To solve this problem, Moshe inked the letters onto the stones and placed a shamir on the inked area. The stone then split open by itself along the lines of the letters, and no part of the stone was lost. So again, when the second temple was destroyed, the shamir, a small worm that could split stone, and the nofet sufim, a special kind of honey, ceased to be found. Now this is honey that came from Tzipia, a place in Eretz Israel. It was one of exceptionally high quality in appearance, taste, and fragrance. As the Rambam explains in his commentary to the Mishnah, Upasku Anshe Amana, and people of faith ceased to exist. These people had such trust in God, they relied on Him to provide all their needs, and they gave away what they had to charitable causes to beautify objects used for. They gave away what they had to charitable causes to beautify objects used for mitzvot and to enhance Shabbat and Yom Tov. Shenemar Oshia Adonai Ki Gamar Chasid V'Gomer, as it is stated in Tehillim chapter 12 verse 2. Save Hashem, for the pious are no more, for those of faith have vanished from mankind. More about the decline that followed the destruction of the second temple. Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel Omer B'Shum Rabbi Yoshua. Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel says the name of Rabbi Yoshua. Rabbi Yoshua lived through the destruction and witnessed its consequences. Yom Shecharav Bet HaMikdash, from the day the second temple was destroyed, and Yom Shem Bo Klala, there is no day without curse. Each day's curse is worse than that of the day before, as the Gemara says in Masechet Sotah, page 49a. V'lo yarad atah livacha, dew does not descend in a way that gives blessing. Before the destruction of the temple, land in which there was much dew produced large amounts of produce, but after the destruction, such lands produces small amounts. V'nital tam perot, and flavor has been removed from fruit. Rabbi Yossi Omer af nital shomen perot. Rabbi Yossi says the richness, the nutrition of the fruit has also been removed. And that is the end of Mishnah Yud Bet. Mishnah Yud Gimel begins, Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar Omer, Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar says, HaTaorah nadla et hatam v'tareach, the end of purity, Tahara, caused the removal of the flavor and fragrance of produce. As long as the people were pure, tahor, and were occupied with matters of purity, God purified their fruit of unpleasant flavors and aromas. Once the people lost their purity, the bad flavors and aroma returned. Hamaasrot natlu et shomen adagan, the end of the tithing caused the removal of the nutrition, the richness of grain. In Sefer Bamidbar, chapter 18, verse 12, it describes Terumot and Maasrot, tithes, as the richness of the produce. Therefore, when people stopped tithing their produce, they were punished with a decrease in its richness and its nutrition. V'chachamim omrim aznut v'akshafim kilu et hakol. And the sages say harlotry and sorcery brought an end to all. These sins reduced the blessings granted to the world. Promiscuity causes famine, as the sages teach. Whoever cohabits with the harlot will be reduced to searching for a loaf of bread, as says in the Gemara, page 4b, in Masechet Sotah. And sorcery is sometimes given the power to cause harm in the world, even when the harm was not directly decreed by heaven. And that is the Rabotai of today's Mishna Yomi. Baruch Adonai Leolam. Amen v'amen.